Have you ever looked back on your life and realized that the thing that changed everything wasn't what happened, but rather what didn't happen? This might be the relationship that didn't work out, the job you didn't get, the opportunity that disappeared, or maybe the person that walked away. At the time, it likely felt like a loss. But years later, you realize it may have been one of the greatest gifts you've received. If you're new here, I'm Amanda Hill, licensed mental health therapist, published author, and owner of Connections of Hope. For more than 20 years, I've helped people navigate grief, disappointment, relationships, major life transitions, and one lesson I continue to see over and over again is this. Sometimes what didn't happen was the most important thing that ever happened. Several years ago, I worked with a client who was devastated after her relationship ended. She told me she was convinced that she had lost the one as she replayed every conversation, every memory, every possibility that they could have had together. For months, she and I worked through the grief she was facing due to what she thought her future was supposed to look like. But as time passed, something interesting happened. As she began to see things she was unable to see clearly while she was still in that relationship. This was the controlling behavior, the constant anxiety, and even more importantly, the way she had been shrinking herself to keep the relationship together. This was a huge turning point for her in her healing. A few years later, she ended up meeting someone else. This was someone who respected her boundaries. He encouraged her to grow instead of limiting her. I'll never forget the day she came into my office and said that she realized the best thing that ever had happened to her was that her old relationship had ended. She just didn't know it at the time. Here's the thing. Life often makes sense looking backward, but not forward. The job you didn't get may have protected you from burnout. The relationship that ended may have made room for something healthier. The opportunity you missed may have redirected you towards your purpose. We tend to judge events by the pain they create in the moment, when time often reveals a different story. This means that sometimes closed doors aren't punishments. They're actually protection. Sometimes disappointment is actually redirection. And sometimes the thing you're grieving today is preparing you for something you can't yet see. So if you are someone who's struggling with something that hasn't worked out for you the way that you've been hoping, I want you to consider this. What if your story isn't over? What if this isn't the thing that's ruining your life? Or what if this is the thing that's quietly changing it for the better? Thinking like this can really aid you as you process disappointing events in your life and work towards repair. Some of life's greatest blessings arrive disguised as setbacks, and some of the most important turning points in our lives won't feel like victories when they're happening. They may feel a lot like heartbreak, rejection, loss, or uncertainty, but it's important to give it time in order to allow yourself to see the clarity that you will truly benefit from. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's something that didn't work out in your life that you later realized was a blessing in disguise? If this message resonated with you, I would love for you to share it with someone who also might be struggling to make sense of disappointment that they're facing right now. Sometimes we all need a reminder that today's setbacks may become tomorrow's gratitude. And as always, if you enjoy content on mental health, relationships, personal growth, resilience, and navigating life's challenges, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube page, Mental Health with Amanda, or follow my podcast on Spotify or Apple. Lastly, remember, not every closed door is a loss. Sometimes it's protection, sometimes it's redirection, and sometimes it's making room for a future that's better than anything you could see at the time. Until next time, keep doing the work, keep trusting the process, and keep believing that your story may make far more sense looking backward than it does today. Because sometimes what didn't take place was actually the most important thing that happened.